Why do so many men hide their pain, even from themselves? Is vulnerability really a weakness, or the doorway to true connection? Remember being in a group of friends? One of my best friends was known for his bear hugs, his infectious laugh, his jokes that always landed. But I saw him open up to no one. He was talking to me about this woman he loved. He said, "I want to tell her, but what if she doesn't feel the same way? What if I get hurt?" And then he did something completely out of character. He walked into the ocean and started swimming further and further away from shore. And I ran after him, scared that he might drown. I called out to him, "Hey man, I'm coming after you." He just kept on going. As I pulled him back to safety, I realized I didn't actually know this man. I knew the persona he'd created, the strong guy who never backed down, who always had a quick joke to lighten the mood. But this man was drowning in his pain. We all have an idea of what it means to be a man. It often comes down to two: be strong or be nothing. This idea that men should suppress their emotions has been hammered into us through countless stories, starting with the earliest of our childhood. How many of us have been told to man up? How many of us grew up watching our fathers hold back tears, swallow their fears, bury their pain, never speak of it again? The problem is that when we try to fit into this narrow definition of what it means to be a man, we lose ourselves. We lose the ability to connect with others, and even worse, we lose the ability to connect with ourselves. Think of a close friend of yours, someone you talk to about almost everything, where they like to go out to eat, how they like to spend their free time. But there's one topic they seem uncomfortable discussing, maybe even ashamed. When you ask questions about it, they change the subject or make a joke. Maybe you press a little harder, but then they get up, suddenly needing to use the restroom, or maybe they leave altogether. You're left confused and a little angry. Why won't this person open up? What are they hiding? We've all been that person, hiding parts of ourselves, holding back tears, burying our pain. So why do men do this? Why do we hide our true selves? Vulnerability is not exposure. Vulnerability is honesty, sharing our authentic selves with the world. And if we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we become imprisoned by our pain. That's the dark side of vulnerability. The alternative to vulnerability is not safety. The alternative to vulnerability is shame. Shame destroys more relationships than anger or fear ever will. Vulnerability is not a weakness. Vulnerability is the birthplace of all emotions, all relationships, and all growth. In fact, vulnerability is the cornerstone of all courage. Imagine a room full of people. Everyone seems nice, but there's a strange distance between them. No one speaks their truth. They're all performing. Then one person speaks up. They share something personal, something true. Suddenly the energy shifts. Others begin to open up, sharing their own stories. The room feels safer. This is the power of vulnerability. In that moment, when we choose honesty over safety, when we choose to be seen, we break through the barriers of superficial relationships, become more connected to ourselves and others, and when we're connected to ourselves, we're connected to others. Vulnerability isn't just about speaking your truth, it's also about listening to the truths of others. It's easy to get lost in our own stories, our own pain, our own problems. But when we listen to others with an open heart and open mind, we expand our capacity for empathy, compassion, and ultimately, our capacity for love. Maybe the bravest thing a man can do is let himself be seen. Not seen as weak, but seen as human. Seen in his rawness, his pain, his beauty, and his truth. We were all taught to hide our pain. We were all taught that showing pain makes us weak. But here's the truth. Showing pain does not make us weak. Ignoring our pain does.